So, Randy, thank you for being with me tonight. I'm super excited that you're here to talk about redefining success and servant leadership. I think it's going to be fun.
It's awesome to be here with you and see you again.
Yeah, thanks. You are founder of Lessons in Leadership in Kansas City, and that's how we met. I was on your program as a guest, and I thought it was amazing what you're doing. And with Thanksgiving coming up, and people thinking about being grateful and helping and supporting others, I wanted you to be able to tell more people about your program, Lessons in Leadership. How'd you create that?
Yeah, it was an accidental whim. Yeah, when one of the things I had been doing prior to this year was having a lot of breakfast and a lot of lunches, meeting people, learning about their story. I've been for years just intrigued about meeting people and learning about their leadership story, their journey, what inspired them to go spend a career in the military or go start a business or go into education, whatever path they chose that really ended up fulfilling their purpose. I loved hearing those stories because I could learn things from those stories. And then when we all got grounded in March, I didn't really know what to do. I couldn't get out and engage with people. I started to talk with folks around town that I knew, and people were afraid. I was having a lot of conversations with people who were afraid. They were afraid about their business. They were afraid about health risks. They were afraid about all of the negativity with the election and the media and social media. And people were really concerned. And I couldn't get out and go meet people and have any in-person conversations. And I said, well, I got to do something. And so I'm just going to, I know so many people with great stories. I think I'll just invite one to come get on Zoom, and I'll invite a bunch of people, and we'll just have a Q&A and we'll talk, and maybe the world will feel a little better when we're done. And I thought I'd try it a few weeks and see how it went. And I was amazed at the response and the folks who come back every week just to
Yeah,
hear
it's
these
grown
stories.
to be huge. Are you surprised at how many people have started joining? And these are not just people, you started this in Kansas City. And to give everyone context, Randy is a very successful businessman. And he started this program to help connect others, as he said, and to help them feel a little better in all of these uncertain times. And literally your guests are finding each other, and you're putting this on LinkedIn and helping them network during these times. Can you say a little more about that?
That's been really cool to see. That was an outgrowth of it more than even just the great stories and the great interaction during the time that we're together, but that folks are engaging afterwards and looking each other up on LinkedIn and connecting and finding out about each other's businesses and how they can help each other. I know there's been speaking engagements that came out of that where people that were on were brought into other businesses to engage with their employees and help motivate and inspire more people. So it's been really cool to see that and to see it, spread beyond Kansas City. You're in Nashville. There's some others in Nashville that join. There's regularly some folks from Indiana and Oklahoma. It seems like there's been just little ripples of this that have spread around. It's been kind of awesome to see.
And you just had an actor on there that's done some pretty interesting work on New York and the Sex and the City show, and you've had a very famous author on there recently. I mean, this is pretty exciting.
It's great, and everybody that comes on has so many good stories about both what inspired them and helped take them on their journey, and how they've used that purpose in their life to go out and help others. And I think that's what really we can take from that, is that all of us can have an impact in some way in our community and in the people around us. If we get overwhelmed by the enormity, my boys will come in and they're overwhelmed and they're saying, "Oh, it seems like the world's ending." I'm like, "Well, it might
Yeah,
be, but we can't do anything about that. But here's what we can do: we can
right.
make where we're at a little better, and we can help the people around us." And so, if it just made a difference to one person every day, well, that's 365 people this year that I helped, and they're going to help other people. And so, don't get overwhelmed and give up. just go out and do what you can do today in the area where you're at. And so I see that happen in the folks that come on this show. They're doing that. They're making a difference in people's lives.
I think that's huge to point out that you don't have to try and do it all at once. You can just take one person at a time, one meeting at a time. And you started this from scratch. This is a model that other people can watch and learn from you and get inspired and maybe have their own in their own city, to help people network, to help them meet each other, just to have a way to connect. And I'm curious, Randy, you're a successful guy already, but what have you learned about success and power from helping others, from serving and helping your community?
That's probably the most rewarding thing I find for me, and I find other people that I meet that are more successful than I am. You talk to them, and if you you see someone that's like, boy, I want to be like you. You find that the joy they have is that their team is doing well. The people they inspire do well. They see a difference in people around them, and they help make that difference. And so it becomes less and less about what did I do, which is very individual and limited in scope, but what did this team do? What did this group of people do? What did this group accomplish? And so success becomes much bigger than personal endeavors, and it becomes, how can I help a team do really well, or how can I transform a community and make a community better and help people find and create and cultivate opportunity, start their own business, go find the career they were meant to be in, go find their purpose. The speaker Les Brown says your job is what you're paid to do, and your calling is what you were made to do. So go help people find that calling that is something they were really made to do, and that they'll wake up at 4 a.m. excited about.
Yeah. Now, do you have any success stories or a particular episode that sticks out in your mind?
Boy, there's so many awesome stories of just what's been on the show, and then just of other people that I've met around Kansas City. I think one that comes to mind this week, because he's having some health struggles again, is a guy named Jeff Hansen, and I haven't brought him on the show yet. I'd love to sometime. Him and his family, they're wonderful people. Jeff is visually impaired. He had cancer at a young age and lost the majority of his eyesight, and he dedicated himself to learning art while he was going through his treatments. And he does it with a lot of texture. He uses a lot of plaster and texture, so because he doesn't have they call it like patchwork vision or something. He can only see blotches of it, but he can feel his way, and he can paint beautiful works of art. And he said, I'm going to use these to raise money for charity. So here's a kid who's going through his own struggles, and he decided he wanted to raise $1 million by selling his art by the time he was 20. And he did. He hit it. He's got art in Elton John's home and Warren Buffett's home and Bill Gates' home. And
That's
he's does this
incredible.
amazing art. Now he's at like 6 million, on his way to 10 million by the time he's 30.
Wow.
And you just see someone like that rather than sit around and think about why me? Why did all this go wrong? It's why not me? Why can't I go make a difference anyways? And I'm inspired when I see those stories and see a family like that that's dedicated themselves to making a difference.
Absolutely. Well, when I think of power, a few years ago, as you know, in my story, I left the executive world and kind of redefined success as helping others and finding ways to help people find their own potential and their passion, and then to follow it. And I love what you're doing here. And I really like what you said about just take one person at a time or one event at a time, and don't get overwhelmed. Just start small and take a step forward with that. Is there anything else that you would like to share about how to start an effort in your community, or what people can do whenever they are confined in their homes, and maybe they want to go somewhere for Thanksgiving? Like, I'm going to miss my folks this year in Kentucky. Hello out there in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. But I'm kind of stuck here in Nashville because of containment. So talk to me about what people can do to feel more connected, especially at Thanksgiving.
Well, we do have more tools now, which is remarkable when you think about how alone we would have felt just 20 years ago, when we might have texted and been charged 15 cents a text and had some email. But with Zoom, or Teams, or all of the different tools, FaceTime, there's so many ways to engage with people now that we didn't have just a really short time ago in our history. We didn't have that ability to all get a family together and see each other and still interact. And it's not the same as being in person. And I think we all, I think we're just built, our DNA is built that we need that togetherness. But in the interim, this is still an awesome tool to be able to use and engage with people, and reach out. I get that question all the time. How do you meet so many people? You just contact them. If you go on LinkedIn.
It doesn't feel that easy though to the rest of us, Randy. It doesn't feel that easy. So just do it. Is that your advice?
If you see somebody post something interesting on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, you send them a message and say, that was awesome. It meant a lot to me. Let me tell you why it meant a lot to me. And I'd love to just get on a Zoom and talk to you about it someday. And they're almost always eager to do that, to talk about their story.
Because I haven't done that myself, but that's something that I can do differently and give it a try, because what's the worst thing that happens, right? They don't respond. And I've made them feel good by saying something. So that's a really good tip.
And if they tell you no, you're not any worse than if you just assumed no.
Exactly.
But they almost never tell you no. If you are approaching it of that, I want to learn and I want to learn about you. Not that I'm trying to sell you something. Everybody gets tired of those, of the connections of, hey, I'm about to sell you something. But if it's legitimately, hey, I read your work. I saw your post. I saw this video you did. I read your book, Tabitha, and it meant a lot to me. And here's all the reasons why it touched me. People are always going to want to engage in those kinds of conversations.
Yeah, that is great advice. So everybody take the risk. If somebody's doing something that you love, reach out and let them know, hey, I'd like to connect with you. Start small, just one person at a time, and invite one person and then two, and allow it to spread. And hey, you can have lessons in leadership as well and learn from what Randy has done. Any last words?
No, it's this is a great time to remind us of how important it is that we connect and help each other. It's Thanksgiving week. That's ingrained in our DNA as Americans, this week of thankfulness and Thanksgiving. And it's important that we pause and just think about, despite all of the uncertainty of this year and despite all of the challenges we've faced, there's still amazing people around us doing awesome things and making a difference. And we've got so much to be thankful about.
Well, I am thankful for you, Randy. You're awesome and you're making a difference.
And I'm thankful to know you. It's been awesome to be your friend.
And I'm thankful for my friends on Facebook and LinkedIn. And I look forward to talking to you again soon, Randy. Take care.
All right. Thanks.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.
Bye.